Hey there, Regina Andler here with Autumn Ascent Consulting, and it is time for Motivation Monday. Let me just bring up my notes here, and here we go. Let's rock and roll. This week's theme is perseverance. What does it mean to persevere? We're going to find out. According to the VIA Institute, and just a side note, if you haven't gone out to the VIA Institute yet, it's viacharacter.org. They have a free character strength quiz that you can take, and it will show you the 24 character strengths that we're going through in this series. And you can go through and find out, where do you stand? What are your top 5 character strengths? What are you strong at? There's a lot of power in knowing what your top character strengths are so that you can use them to your advantage. So just a side note, this week we are talking about the character strength of perseverance, and it is of the virtue courage. It does take courage to persevere. And the characteristics, according to the VIA Institute, include persistence, industry. I'm not exactly sure what the industry part of it means. Finishing what one starts and overcoming obstacles. I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure why industry's in there. Maybe one of you know. If you do, hey, type it in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion on it. I'm going to have to look it up again on VIA. I couldn't find it. So what is persistence all about? It's about getting things done. It's about not giving up. So an overuse of perseverance. I always say the two of them. They're interchangeable in my head. Perseverance, the overuse of perseverance is being obsessive. You obsessively want to get something done. You don't stop. You can't think of anything else. You're totally obsessive. So that's the overuse. Now, the underuse is idleness and apathy. You don't want to do anything. You start something, it goes off into a pile over here. You start something else, it goes off into a pile over there. And you just never finish anything. So that middle point is where you want to be. You want to be overusing and you don't want to be underusing. So what is perseverance? Perseverance is all about doing something despite the difficulty or delay in achieving success. Of course, that's the Google Dictionary term. So what does that mean? It literally means you don't give up. You keep going and going and going until you reach your goal. That's what perseverance is all about. It is a unbelievably incredible, strong. It should be your superpower. Perseverance is an amazing superpower to have. Now, let me ask you this. When you see an F, big red F with a circle around it, tell me, how does that make you feel? What do you feel when somebody says that you failed? We're programmed at a young age to view failure as something bad. And it's something that lowers. We're trained to look at failure as something negative. Now, what if you decided to change your brain, change the way your mindset works around failure, and decide you could start, instead of failing backwards, fail forward? Now, what does that mean? That means you use the other versions of fail and you convince your brain, because it's true and it will be serving you, that fail means first attempt in learning. That's one of the acronyms for fail. First attempt in learning. Think about Thomas Edison creating the light bulb. One of his famous quotes is about how many times he tried and how many times he failed. And what he said was, I didn't fail 10,000 times in creating the light bulb. I found 10,000 ways it didn't work. Paraphrase there. It's all about your mindset. You can think of failure as something bad, or you can think of failure as something good. Those who practice perseverance and never ever give up, they don't even consider failure. Failure is a good thing. Failure to them is just like Thomas Edison. Failure to somebody who has that positive mindset and is persevering, they're going to think, no, failed? Perfect. I just learned how it doesn't work. I'm one step closer to getting it done and reaching my goal. So, you know, this is life. And, bottom line, suck it up, buttercup. This is what it is, right? It's that old phrase out there about sucking it up. And it's true. It's true. It's life. This is the only life you've got. And, there's going to be bumps in the road. The road is not going to be smooth the entire time you go through your life. Stuff is going to happen. The thing is, how do you determine, how do you choose to respond when something comes up? When a bump is in the road, how are you going to choose? Is that going to stop you? Are you going to give up? Or are you going to keep going? Are you going to say, yeah, that was just a bump? And yeah, it was a bump. It slowed me down for a second, and then I got over it. It's a bump. Had to change direction, so I went over to the other side. There's all kinds of different bumps that we face in our life. Perseverance is all about not giving up and doing what it takes to reach your goal. Now, I've mentioned before that I'm an avid obstacle course racer, and I started doing that. My first race was 3 days before my 50th birthday. And here's the thing. Prior to even actually at my 50th birthday, 3 days before my 50th birthday when I did that race, I couldn't climb a rope. Now, in the races that I do, climbing a rope is basically in every single race that I do. So I needed to learn how to climb a rope. I had a goal to learn how to climb a rope. So my trainer started me, and I wanted to go right up the rope because that's the way I am. I'm one of those let's get it done type of people. And I wanted to just jump on the rope and just climb up the rope. And he was like, no. We're going to take this in baby steps, and you're going to learn how to do this first. And he taught me, and I failed. I'd fall off the rope. I'd get back on. I'd fall off the rope again. I'd get back on. And every single time I did it, I learned something new. And before you know it, I was at the top of the rope. That's perseverance. So what you really, really want to do is you just want to keep going. If you have a goal that's that important to you, you will keep going. So let's test your perseverance. How's that? If you have a piece of paper and a pen, pencil, whatever you're using, just go through these little statements here and rate yourself. A, B, C, or D. A being always, B being almost always, C being sometimes, or D being never. So when you say the words out loud, I believe in myself. Always, almost always, sometimes, never. Where do you stand? I have clear goals. I address my limitations. That rope wasn't going to climb itself. I had to keep trying and trying and trying. I bounced back from disappointments. Yeah, I wasn't happy with myself that I couldn't do it. And you know what? That encouraged me to keep going and keep trying to do it again. I persevered. I adapt to change. Sometimes down that bumpy road, stuff happens, and that bump sends you off into a brand new direction. What is your goal? Stuff happens. Do you adapt to the change? Do you roll with it? What do you do there? The last one is I focus on and complete projects. Are you one of those people that you get things started and then you bounce off and you have these half-finished projects all over your house? I know a lot of people who have half-finished projects all over their house. It's like they started doing something in their bathroom and cleaning it out, or started cleaning their closet out or their attic out or their garage out. And they got halfway through it or so and then just gave up. So what's the deal there? For perseverance, it wasn't all that important to them. What is important to you, trust me, you will persevere. So here's some tips for persevering. First off, set clear goals. What do you want and why? The bigger your why, the more persistent and more persevering you're going to be. Be present. If you're thinking about the past or anticipating the future, all that does is muddy up the water for your goal that you should be focusing on. Be present in whatever your goals are if you want to persevere. Acknowledge your accomplishments instead of focusing on failure. And if you do look at failure, remember what we said. Failure is not falling backwards and it's not a bad thing. Failing is a lesson learned and moving forward. You want to acknowledge your accomplishments. The more you acknowledge your accomplishments, your brain loves accomplishments. It loves to be rewarded. When you accomplish something, acknowledge it. Give yourself some kind of reward, whether it's a piece of chocolate or a day off or a walk outside, whatever it is that works for you. Give yourself a reward for that accomplishment. That will help you keep going and help you move forward. The next one is to embrace that change, because change happens, right? Things change. Everything doesn't always go the way you expect it to go. And there are the bumps in the road. And if you hit a bump in the road and you go, whoa, that bump just threw me out into the atmosphere. What do I do now? I had a goal. Well, maybe that goal needed to shift a little bit. Maybe you got thrown out there because of that. You keep an open mind when you're present. And then you may adjust a little for whatever your goal is. The next one is to try new things often. Those who are good at perseverance, we're always trying new things. Why? Because all of us are going to fail. That's how we learn. Failure is how we learn. Failure is such an awesome thing. I love failure. I love it when something goes wrong. It shows me the path to what is right every single time. So failure is good, and it helps you to try new things. And always, always, always stay positive. Remember, it's your goal. How bad do you want it? If you want it bad, trust me, perseverance is your superpower. I love this quote, especially for my obstacle course racing that I do. The brick walls are there for a reason. The brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something, because the brick walls are there to stop the people who don't want it badly enough. They're there to stop the other people. So are you one of the people who want whatever it is bad enough that you are going to do whatever it is to get over that brick wall? That is perseverance. So for this week, on our weekly quest, all I want you to do is just pay attention. Pay attention to what is going on in your head this week. And if you get to a point this week where you're just saying, you know what, that's it, I'm done, I give up. Stop and pause for a moment and consider what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Is it something you really want? If it is it just a bump in the road? And you need to learn a lesson from maybe something that was a failure, and you need to take that lesson in and to move forward? When you stop and reflect on what's going on, that's how you'll persevere. So learn those lessons. Learn the lessons from the failure. So that's what I got for you this week. If you want to keep in connection with us, you can find us over at the Harmony and Balance Connection for Women, where we post our quotes every single day, 5 days a week, and over on our Facebook business page at Autumn Ascent Consulting. And last but not least, you can find all of our videos, especially all of these ones on the VIA Institute Character Strength series, on Autumn Ascent Consulting out on our YouTube channel. That's what I got for you today. Have a fabulous week, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.